In today's day and age, safeguarding consumers' rights have become an important aspect. On December 24th, 1986, Consumer Protection Act 1986 received the approval of the President of India and hence came into force Consumer Protection Act 1986. Consumer Protection Act 1986 ensures speedy and inexpensive settlements of the consumer disputes. The 8 rights recognized under the Consumer Protection Act 1986 include 6 rights of the consumers provided in the UN Charter. The rights given to consumer under Consumer Protection Act 1986 are the right to protection, right of information, right of choice, right of hearing, right of redressal, and right of education. We wish everyone a very happy National Consumer Rights Day. Now, coming to our main topic, is teaching a noble profession anymore? Guru Govind do khade, kaake lagu paye, Alihari Guru aapne, Govind diyo bataye. If there were no teachers, all other professions would not exist. Teaching is a very noble profession that shapes the character, caliber, and future of an individual. And to discuss this very important point, because we have received so many opinions, views of our viewers, and the perception which is going on right now that the teaching has become very much commercialized, we have kept this topic, is teaching a noble profession anymore? And we are having our as a panelist educators across the world, although they are teaching in their respective countries, wherever they are now, as well as in India. But teaching is teaching, whether you are teaching in India or USA or Indonesia. So we would like to discuss this, and I welcome all our very, very elite, knowledgeable panelists who are joining, and all the viewers who have joined today to watch our show, and those who are going to watch our show afterwards. Now, I would like to invite my first panelist guest today, and he is Dr. Arvind Shyam. Dr. Arvind Shyam, PhD, is the Faculty Director, WESKA, Professor and Huber Dean's Fellow in Entrepreneurship, Department of Management, Information Systems and Entrepreneurship, Carson College of Business, Washington State University, USA. He researches and teaches in the fields of strategy, entrepreneurship, and innovation. Dr. Arvind's research examines real-world phenomena at the interface of management and organization, strategic entrepreneurship, and technology innovation management. His research has been published in a number of leading journals, including Strategic Management Journal, Organizational Science, Journal of Business Venturing, MIS Quarterly, Information System Research, Journal of Applied Psychology, and Journal of Business Research, among others. Dr. Arvind has earned numerous honors. Dr. Arvind has earned numerous honors and awards, including Distinguished Paper Award at the Academy of Management, FGF Germany Best Paper Award, Academy of Management Conferences Best Viewers Award, Carson College's Outstanding Faculty Research Award 2019 and 2012, Outstanding Faculty Teaching Award 2013, Outstanding Pullman MBA Faculty Award 2016, and multiple Dean's Excellence Awards over the years. Dr. Arvind is a member of Journal of Business Venturing Editorial Board of Review and regularly reviews articles for the top journals in businesses. He has served the department in various capacities. He served the college as a senator in the Faculty Senate of the Washington State University between 2013 to 2016. He serves the university as an entrepreneurial faculty ambassador. Welcome, Professor Dr. Arvind Shyam on our show. But before I will take the opinion of Dr. Arvind Shyam, I would like to take the opinion sent by our distinguished viewers. And the first opinion is of Professor Dr. R.K. Arya. Professor Dr. R.K. Arya is the Professor of International Economics at Manav Rachna International Institutes of Research and Studies, Faridabad. And his opinion is, nobility is not something which can be especially acquired using special means. It is a passion and dedication of anyone's profession which makes other to acknowledge the services of the person. Teaching is not a simple word in itself, but it should come with morality and purity. Teaching and coaching are not synonymous. When we speak about teaching means we are inculcating the human lessons that teacher and taught are linked to in a fine setting. Now the teachers are given labels as tutor and coach. People is rather more appropriate for taught, that is shishya. Let us try to find out whether any student would like to be called as pupil, because it places more morality on his shoulders so that he can acquire the best human traits. Education and teaching are not same. Education is a subset of teaching because latter covers moral values to be imparted. It is the teaching where monetary attraction is highest. There is hardly any passion and stability among teachers that they are adopting and students are pupil. Students also know that they are paying for attending classes. If they cannot pay, they will be expelled. In limited words, since the character of institutions is changing its role of serving to profiting, how can teachers who go there for teaching can remain inhumane from the influx of unfiltered instructions? It is where the nobility is almost eroded. These were the views of Professor Dr. R.K. Arya, who is the Professor of International Economics at Manav Rachna International Institute of Research and Studies, Faridabad. One more, I think I will just see. Okay, so these are the views I received from the opinion from Professor. Now I will go to our panelist, Dr. Aryan, Professor Dr. Arvind Shah. You are working in Washington. You are seeing there in USA the teaching, and you have seen in India also how the people were, the teachers were teaching here, how the respect are they getting in India or they are getting in USA. So you have a vast experience of both the sides. We would like to know your views on is teaching is noble profession anymore. Dr. Arvind Shah, please.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity to present my thoughts in front of this August panel. And I also appreciate the opinion expressed by Dr. Arya from Manav Rachna, who is doing an excellent job in this area. I feel that at this point of time in this information age, and when we are kind of going out of the pandemic, this is the age of YouTube. This is the age of Khan's Academy. This is the age of Byju's. This is the age of Manav Rachna. Teaching remains, I personally believe that teaching remains a noble profession, and teachers remain noble in their pursuit if they intend to do so. However, some rebooting or strategic renewal is needed, given that we are in this information age and post-pandemic age. So some of the ways rebooting or renewal can be done would be by, first of all, making the knowledge insightful and creative so that it can solve society's problems and it could be valuable in the market. So that is one thought. And my other thought is that in this post-pandemic world, we need to make the teacher and teaching relevant to the market and society. So these are my two opening thoughts to keep the teachers and teaching noble, relevant, and useful for the society. And teaching is basically associated with imparting knowledge, and sharing knowledge, imparting knowledge, and making the student to come to the level of becoming a teacher or a guru himself or herself. And going back, so I did, this is such an interesting topic that I did some research in this area. And as I'm talking about rebooting and renewal in this information age and in the post-pandemic world, so we are talking about 2022 onwards. But if I look into the scriptures, so think about the Atharvaved or Taittiriya Upanishad. So in those, teacher, the very term has been brought into a nuanced way. So it is, so we can look into Sanskrit, and in Sanskrit there are a number of ways teachers can be expressed or called. So for example, adhyapak. So adhyapak is the person who is going to just give the knowledge or give the information. So I started thinking whether adhyapak is as relevant in this information age. And then it is upadhyay. So who would not only give information, but also, comprehend the knowledge. And then there is acharya. So acharya was that this term was associated with people who are going to give some skill that is going to be useful. And then it was pandit. So the pandit is going to be the person who has got very valuable insights and gives that wisdom. So now we are moving from, knowledge, learning towards wisdom. And, then it is going to be guru, which is probably the highest form. So I started thinking in the context of what we call the teachers here. So, we would start with the term, say, instructor. So instructor would just go to the class and, give the information. Then it could be a teacher, that is going to be, little more extra knowledge, little more comprehension. Then it's going to be like a professor who is going to profess the ideas and, share the knowledge and wisdom over there. We also think in terms of advisors, say for PhD program or masters, or when students are working on the thesis. So we think in terms of the advisors, who is little more, I would say a little higher in terms of the hierarchy, because the advisor not only comprehends but also opens the new paths. The teacher, the advisor here asks questions and motivates the student to go on that path. And then it is going to be mentor and advisor. And then the ultimate is guru in that sense. So there are different ways to look at teacher, so see it from Sanskrit, coming from Sanskrit, from Atharvaved, and, I can cite, say, book number 11, hymn number 5. So, from there, we are talking about this century and future and different cultures, but the ideas are same. The teaching can remain a noble profession, but it has to keep on rebooting, renewing itself with the time and with the needs of the students, with the needs of the society, so that the contribution can be made to the society in every single era, at every single stage. So this is how teaching remains the noble profession in my mind, and noble forever if it keeps renewing and rebooting itself. That is my thought. And, I am open to your opinions and thoughts on what I said.
Thank you very much, Professor Aryan, for giving your views, very, very clear views about the rebooting of education, and the teacher has to be rebooting or revisiting their own things. But my question to you, because you have to leave, we understand, is very, very clear. You have seen in India and you have seen in USA. In USA, which is a capital oriented state, whether there also they have the same professions like in India, we used to say teaching and medical, they are two noble professions. Are they also consider the teachers under that category, or they consider teachers as any other employee of a company or an organization, or they give them the more respect than the other one.
So, it brings me to your thought. Right in the beginning, you said that it is a National Consumers Day. So I think that, since I am over here, and I know many of you, like say Professor Sharan, we all believe in compassionate capitalism. So I would say that market always has to be taken into account. And Mr. Goyal, your question is so relevant because yes, teaching over, I can say that teaching over here and any teaching that remains noble and relevant has to accommodate the needs of the market and the society issues that are there in the society, so that the students can go over there and find some creative solutions to that. So yes, in the capitalist society, there is little more focus in terms of the performance. So teachers have to perform, and we are like, over here, we get teaching evaluations all the time. Sometimes after every class session we get, sometimes like, just today, I got the teaching evaluations from every single student of mine who I taught in the previous semester. So, I take it as a feedback, and then I take a look at it. I keep improving my syllabus every single semester, and that is one freedom that we are given over here, and that has been helping in renewing and rebooting. So this is the way we also go to industry actually. So we have, every department has some experts from the industry who come over here every semester and share their thoughts that, okay, these are the new things that are happening. How can you accommodate this need of the industry? So it is very much aligned for solving the societies and industries issue. And that's a positive change that has happened in last few decades.
Okay, thank you very much, Professor Arvind, for joining us from a chilling weather. You have shown that -12 it is right now where you are, and the USA is suffering. Many of the states are suffering a very, very chilled winter or the Christmas, I must say. Yes. And Merry Christmas and a Happy Christmas to you in advance, because I know that we are disturbing you at this time when the entire United States is celebrating the Christmas. So thank you very much for joining us. Thank you very much. Now I would like to invite my next panelist guest, and he is Professor Dr. Abhijit K. Chaturaj. Professor Dr. Abhijit K. Chaturaj is PhD, is the Dean, SW and SS, Professor and Chairperson of the Program for Insurance Business Management, Birla Institute of Management Technology, Greater Noida. Dr. Chaturaj is a well-known and an established insurance academician and a professional with international acclaim. He is a chartered insurer and also Goodwill Ambassador of Chartered Insurance Institute in India. He is also currently the Honorable Vice President of Risk Management Association of India and a member FICCI Health, and is presenter in health insurance, other general insurance subjects, and marketing. Dr. Chaturaj powers his delivery with a proactive attitude, out-of-the-box thinking, leading to generation of new solutions and ideas. He uses his rich exposures in underwriting and claims management in general insurance business to the hilt while engaging with his audience. He is a keen researcher and a consultant, has been engaged with the insurance industry with several live research projects. Dr. Chaturaj forte lies in the conducting high-end MDP programs in health, liability, automobile insurance, and insurance marketing. He did more than 75 MDP programs in health, automobile, liability, and marketing, both in India and abroad. Dr. Chaturaj is known for his exploits in journalism and has been in the editorial advisory board of Insurance Times and Banking Finance. Dr. Chaturaj is a distinguished keynote and seminar speaker, 22 years experience in industry with a leading public sector insurance company, and was part of business process re-engineering BPR exercise of OIC Limited with globally respected consultant, the Boston Consulting Group, BCG. Welcome, Professor Dr. Abhijit K. Chaturaj on our show. But before I will take you, I would like to read the opinion sent by our viewers. The first opinion has been sent by Mr. Deepan Shah. Mr. Deepan Shah is Asian Indian Ambassador for Organ and Tissue Donation Awareness of NJ Sharing Network, New Jersey, USA. And his opinion is, in fact, it is one of my favorite topics as I started my career teaching biology in high school and college in India. Teaching is noble profession. Indeed, good teaching is ethical, analytical, and reflective, and constantly analyzing content and pedagogical method ensures the growth of students. Pedagogical, I think the word spelling mistake is there. So anyway, pedagogical method ensures the growth of students. This is noble profession, but underappreciated and most undesirable. A strategic 55% of educators are thinking about to leave the profession earlier than they had planned. So these are the opinion. This is the opinion of Mr. Deepan Shah, who is Asian Indian Ambassador for Organ and Tissue Donation Awareness of NJ Sharing Network, New Jersey, USA. One more opinion has come from Miss Florin D'Souza. She is Program Officer, Youth Red Cross, Pompey College, Aikala. And her opinion is, yes, it is the blend of emotions teacher feels for a child, even though teachers did not bear him or her, is precious. So this is the opinion of Miss Florin D'Souza, Program Officer, Youth Red Cross, Pompey College, Aikala. So welcome, Professor Dr. Abhijit K. Chattoraj on our show. Professor Chattoraj, you have heard what Professor Arvind has mentioned, as well as you have heard the opinions of our viewers. Now, we would like to know from you, your opinion on, is teaching a noble profession anymore? Professor Dr. Abhijit K. Chattoraj, please.
Thank you so much, sir, for giving me the opportunity. Thankful viewers, thankful Mr. Shah and Mr. Suja for their opinion. I feel almost all professions are noble. It's not only that teaching is noble, possibly teaching is nobler. And possibly that's the reason most people talk about it. My views about teaching is that, what is the role of a teacher? The role of a teacher is to fire the aspiration and ambition of the student. If a teacher is able to fire the aspiration and the ambition of a student, possibly he does an excellent job. A job of a teacher is to give direction. If he is able to give direction to the generation, possibly he is again doing a great job. But if a teacher fails to do all these things, if he's not able to fire the aspiration, if he's not able to fire the ambition of the students, possibly he is not doing the right kind of job. I was just seeing a beautiful quotation. The quotation says, a teacher's job is to take a bunch of live wires and see that they are well grounded. Possibly that's the best thing the teacher can do. Now, why is this question coming that teaching is no longer a noble profession? Possibly the reason is, just 1 minute. Sorry, because of the simple reason, other profession, the profession is driven by greed. Greed is behind every, look at what is happening in medicine or healthcare. A doctor's job is to treat the patient and treat the patient in such a manner that his mental health is taken care of first. Physical health comes much later. But unfortunately, the entire healthcare is driven by greed. And that is the reason nobody has respect for doctors or healthcare expertise. Same thing is happening in the case of teachers. I don't think teachers are giving the kind of time they should be investing with their students. They don't give it. Teachers are becoming like any other profession. They make a lot of money in research. They make a lot of money in consultancy, in higher education, what I watch today. And that's the reason the kind of time they should be investing on students, that kind of time they are not investing on students. Because consultancy gives you a lot of money, because research gives you a lot of money. I have my great reservations about the way research is being done these days. And most of the researchers, particularly in teaching, they are doing what we call armchair research. They never go to the field to find out the problems of the common people. So they float Google Sheet, and through Google Sheet, they capture the perception of people, and that is how they are writing researchers. Question is, who are using those researchers? Who are citing them? Are the practitioners citing them? I am from insurance, and if I write in research papers where I can make money, and my research is not read by anybody, particularly those who are in the practice, those who are practitioners, and it's being only cited by few teachers, a few researchers, some corner of the world, and I can always boast about my citation. Possibly I'm not doing the right kind of thing. Teachers exist for the society. How much we are paying back to the society is exceedingly important for us. Kind of students we train, are those students going back to the society, serving the needs of the people or not? That is where the teachers need to look at. That is where I believe job of a teacher is to give direction. If the teacher himself or herself is bereft of direction, and her or his direction is somewhere else, possibly the teaching job, which is a very noble job, and I said it's a nobler because we are supposed to build the character, we are supposed to give them the direction, we are supposed to be the ethical, the analytical, and reflective guide of the students. If we are doing that, the profession will remain noble. If we are staying away from them, possibly we'll suffer. And one of the most important reasons why teaching is no longer considered by many as not a noble profession is that teachers are not investing the kind of time they should be investing on their students. They are like anybody else in any other professions. They are also making money, and making money on most of the time, possibly not in the right way. And that is where the student community or the teaching community or the community which is looking at us thinks very differently about us. So possibly my answer to that this is still a noble profession and should continue as noble profession. Only thing we need to reboot, as Mr. Sahai said, time has come, we need to look at it very seriously, or else the people who thought that we are in noble profession, possibly they may not think in the same way. That's what I.
Thank you very much, Professor Chaturaj, for giving your views, and very, very strong views. And he says that the teachers, and he also agreed with Professor Arvind that teachers have to reboot and they have to see what is the condition going on, and accordingly they have to change themselves. Otherwise, this profession, which according to him is nobler than other professions, will lose the tag also. Thank you very much. Paucity of time, so instead of summarizing, I am just giving only one of my opinion. Now I would like to invite my next panelist guest, and she is Dr. Pooja Pathak. Dr. Pooja Pathak is the head of the department MBA at Apex Group of Institutions, Rudrapur. She is an academician with around 9 years of experience, out of which 8 years with academic institutions and 1 year with ICICI-Direct.com. She completed PhD on the topic Impact of Digital Marketing on Consumers' Buying Behaviors of Fashion Products from Rohilkhand University, Bareilly. She presented papers at many international and national conferences organized by esteemed institutions like IIM and IITs. She published a paper in Scopus UGC listed journal and peer-reviewed journals. She attended many FDPs on research methodology, hands-on training, SPSS, structural education, modeling, and entrepreneurship. Welcome, Dr. Pooja Pathak, on our show. But before I will go to you, I will take the opinion of our viewers. The first opinion has come from Miss Hemlata. She is the former airport manager, Chennai. And her opinion is, a good teacher can inspire hope, ignite imagination, caliber, and infuse the love of learning in shaping the next generation. Henceforth, teachers are our national builders, as they help to bring out the best by nurturing and molding the minds of younger generation. Teaching is a noble profession always and forever, as they direct the students in the right directions to pursue a passion that can take you to heights, as they are our mentors, guide to inspire students by exchanging thoughts, sharing a bond and being with the students, and henceforth the noble profession that creates all other professions. The next opinion, this opinion was from Miss Hemlata, former airport manager, Chennai. The next opinion which has come is from Mr. Pratul Agrawal. He is the founder promoter of Alankar Group, Mathura, as well as the Alankar Agro Products Private Limited, Mathura. And his opinion is teaching was in and always remained to be a noble profession because of its indispensable role in the all-round development. There may be some bad practices, but in ultimate analysis, the growth in every field was not possible without it. This is the view of Mr. Pratul Agrawal, who is the founder promoter of Alankar Group, Mathura, as well as the Alankar Agro Products Private Limited, Mathura. One more opinion has come, and it has come just now. It is from Dr. Bala Subramanian. He is the director of admissions of European International University, France, Kuwait. And his opinion rather he has sent something which is a bit different. He says it is a award function for the leading personalities. Judge came to stage and some lawyers given claps. Engineer came stage, some workers given claps. Police IG came, some given claps. Doctor came on stage, some benefited patients clapped. Politician came, some contractors clapped. Finally, they called a primary school teacher on the stage. Whole crowd stand up and giving respect, clapped for a long, including the persons in the stage. That is the value of the teacher. I am really proud of a teacher and also my father and mothers as a teachers, and my respect to all souls of teachers who stand strong like a ladder to climb many to heights and stand at the same place without cry and try to shift. Just they shifted many in their life. These are the views of Dr. Bala Subramaniam. He is the director of admissions of European International University, France, Kuwait. So welcome Dr. Pooja Pathak on our show. Dr. Pooja Pathak, you have heard the views of our earlier panelists, Professor Arvind as well as Professor Chaturaj, and you have also heard the opinions sent by our viewers. We would like to know from you. And I have taken you earlier because although on the ladder, you know, you are supposed to come at the last, but nowadays the young generation has to come and lead the older generation. So that's why Dr. Professor Sharan and our earlier panelists are waiting to listen from you. So we would like to know your views on, is teaching a noble profession anymore? Dr. Pooja Pathak, please. Please turn your mobile in a horizontal position. Yes, please. Please unmute yourself. Please unmute. Please unmute. Now turn. Yes. Yes, please.
Okay.
Go ahead.
First of all, thank you, Dr. Goyal, for giving me this opportunity to share this platform with such knowledgeable personalities, and to give my views on the topic, is teaching a noble profession anymore? I'm really touched with the last, opinion of the viewer who said that when a primary school teacher came and everybody stood there and applauded for the primary teacher. So it is, it is the respect because of which we joined this profession. Because if we compare teaching with the other professions, the monetary benefits are of course less. But then when we, as a researcher, or when we are doing consultancy, so monetary benefits are there. My views on this topic is that yes, teaching is a noble profession, but it also means that how what kind of responsibilities we are carrying on our shoulders. Do the teachers understand that responsibility or not? So it is an individual phenomena. If an individual understands their responsibility and they do their job with utmost passion and sincerity, then only this profession is a noble and it can remain noble. What I want to emphasize on is that how it can remain a noble profession. It is indeed a noble profession, and how it can remain a noble profession. And only with the utmost, when we are igniting the minds, when we are igniting fire in them to pursue ambitions, to pursue different careers, and to also excel in their lives, to do good in their personal and professional lives, it is then we as teachers have done our jobs. So, it is very much important as teachers what kind of ethical values we carry individually. It is very important. If we don't carry that ethical value in ourselves, we cannot impart it to our students. So it's very important that we as teachers understand the responsibility we are carrying on our shoulders, and how we are able to transform the lives of many people. We are the ones who are responsible in nurturing lives, in shaping their careers. And as Indians who have followed the Gurukul system of education, we always should and focus to be not teacher, but to be the mentor, mentoring the students in every aspects of life, so that they can look up to us, they can come up to us with any of their problems, and also we make them ready to face each and every challenge that comes in their life. So it is a noble profession according to me, but we as teachers should have ethical values, should be passionate enough for this profession, and we as teachers should have this thing in ourselves, that we should transform our students in such a way that they're ready to face any kind of challenge, no matter what comes before them. So this was my views.
Thank you very much, Dr. Pathak, for giving your views. And you are also of the same opinion as our earlier panelists have said. And you are very much impressed by the opinion rendered by one of the viewer. So it clearly shows, as of now, after listening three of the panelists, that you feel that all of you feel that the teaching is a noble profession, and that's why every one of you, and you especially, you said that you had joined because of that respect, which otherwise is not there, and the money is not there in that much in this particular profession, but the respect is there. Thank you very much for joining us. Now I would like to invite my next panelist guest, and he is Professor Dr. Sudhir Saran. Professor Dr. Sudhir Saran is the founder of Dr. Saran Consulting, California, USA. He has done MBA from IIM Ahmedabad in 1980. He got certificate in decision support systems from IIT Kanpur in 1986 and doctorate in international business in 1996. Professor Dr. Saran is former visiting professor IIM Lucknow and University of Texas, Dallas, USA. He visited President University Indonesia on invitation from Dean Faculty of Business in 2018. Her Excellency Governor of Karnataka nominated Dr. Saran as syndicate member of Bangalore University in recognition of his academic distinctions. Dr. Saran has an MOU with University in Bali, famous college in India, and in principal agreements with a portfolio of startups for expert advice to facilitate rapid growth. And on personal level, Dr. Saran enjoys long-lasting, deep relationships in life, both personal and professional. His most distinguished attribute has been his burning passion about anchoring business management to fundamentals of objectivism. Since 1979 to date, he calls it MANAGE, M-A-N-A-G-E. Welcome, Professor Dr. Sudhir Saran on our show. But before I will go to take your views, I would like to read the views of our viewers. The first view has come from a serving officer, and he is DIG SS Dasila. He is DIG of Indian Coast Guard, Mumbai. And his views are in Hindi. I am going to read it. हमारा मानना है कि शिक्षक दुनिया को बदल सकते हैं और हम उस अपरिहार्य लक्ष्य में योगदान करने की आशा करते हैं। शिक्षण एक सुंदर पेशा है जिसमें जीवन भर सीखने और आत्म विकास शामिल है। एक शिक्षक में सभी प्रकार के छात्रों के साथ व्यवहार करने का धैर्य होना चाहिए और सीखते रहने के लिए पर्याप्त विनम्र होना चाहिए, क्योंकि एक सच्चा शिक्षक जानता है कि सीखने का कभी अंत नहीं होता। चाहे वह ट्यूशन शिक्षक हो या एक स्कूल शिक्षक हो, शिक्षण की चुनौतियां समान रहती हैं, बस संदर्भ और सेटिंग अलग हो सकती है। हाँ, शिक्षण एक महान पेशा है, हालांकि मैं अभी भी 100% निश्चित नहीं हूं कि आपके पास दिव्य बुलावा होना चाहिए। यह इतना महान क्यों है? ठीक है, यह इतना महान क्या है? ठीक है, आप बिना किसी अतिरिक्त मुआवजे के अपने छात्रों की भलाई के लिए अपने समय की एक बड़ी राशि स्वेच्छा से दे रहे हैं। तुम अपना काम घर ले जाओ, वास्तव में आप इसे हर जगह ले जाते हैं। मैं उन शिक्षकों को जानता हूं जो सबसे अजीब संभावित क्षणों में पाठ के बारे में सोचते हैं। आपके छात्र आपके अपने परिवार के विस्तार बन जाते हैं और आप उन्हें अपने बच्चों के रूप में संदर्भित करते हैं। हम सभी अच्छी तरह जानते हैं कि शिक्षक अपने छात्रों की सफलता सुनिश्चित करने के लिए कितनी दूर तक जाते हैं। बड़ी क्लिष्ट और बहुत ही शुद्ध हिंदी में आपने भेजा है। He is a serving DIG in Indian Coast Guard. He is DIG SS Dasila from Mumbai. Another view has come from Professor Dr. Prashant K. Patnaik. He is Chief Urologist and Managing Director, SS Urological Institute and Dr. Patnaik's Hospital, Mumbai. And his views are, and viewers, we are very happy to say that today our viewers' opinions have come from very diversified viewers. Now, he is a professor in a medical thing. So his views are, undoubtedly a noble profession. A teacher always transfers his wisdom to his students in the form of skill and knowledge without any hesitation, which percolate from generation to generation, never-ending process. Being Indians, we have inherited this culture from generation to generation. Teach, learn, teach. These are the views of Professor Dr. Prashant K. Patnaik, Chief Urologist and Managing Director, SS Urological Institute and Dr. Patnaik's Hospital, Mumbai. One more view has come from Miss Radhika Pai. She is an ex-banker, active educationist, social worker, and now head of Vidya Shilp Community Trust, Bengaluru. She is a Reiki and crystal healer. And her views are, teaching is and will remain a noble profession, but the majority educators now have a different mindset. Teaching is not a mere profession. It is no 9-to-5 job. Teachers are like sculptors who sculpt a young child's mind, molds the child into a civilized, responsible citizen. A teacher's influence on a young child's mind is immeasurable. This noble profession has not been given its due, underpaid, and not acknowledged. Our Indian tradition of respecting the Guru, teacher, is a thing of the glorious past. Where the respect and stature reduces, there will a decline in the quality. These are the views of Miss Radhika Pai, ex-banker, active educationist, social worker, and now head of the Vidya Shilp Community Trust, Bengaluru, and as well as she is Reiki and crystal healer. Welcome, Professor Dr. Sudhir Saran on our show. Professor Saran, you have heard the views of Dr. Arvind, Professor Chaturaj, as well as Dr. Pathak, and they have given their views, very, very clear views. You have also heard the views of our viewers, opinions of our viewers. Now, we would like to know from you, your views on this very, very burning topic, I must say, because I know that today everyone is talking that it's a very noble profession, but back of the mind, still, if you talk to the families, if you talk to the lay persons, what they are talking about the teachers is quite different what we are expressing here. Anyway, I would like to know from you your views on, is teaching a noble profession anymore? Professor Dr. Sudhir Saran, please.
Thank you, Mr. Goel, for inviting me. And it is one of my happiest days in a long time to have my best friends here on the panel. It makes me a little emotional to have Dr. Padma Kumar, to have Dr. Abhijit, to have Dr. Arvind, to have Dr. Spindi, to have Dr. Pathak here with me. And in celebration of this happiness, may I request you that postpone my views for the end and let us listen to Dr. Padma Kumar, let us listen to Dr. Ruspendi, and then I'll come in. If it is okay with you, allow me that
Okay,
privilege.
okay, Professor Saran. We have to hear from the teachers from the childhood, so we can't say no to a teacher. So now I would like to invite our next panelist guest as suggested by Professor Saran, and he is none other than Professor Dr. Padma Kumar Nair. Professor Dr. Padma Kumar Nair is the Professor, Director and Dean of L.M. Thapar School of Management, Chandigarh. Dr. Nair is an accomplished researcher, professor, and a scholar in the area of leadership development and sustainability. He specializes in strategizing for sustainability, social and commercial entrepreneurship, and nanomaterials, with more than 55 publications in journals of international repute to his credit. He has been cited more than 2,600 times in academic journals with a Google Scholar H factor of 26. I'm sure all the academicians understood this technical thing, which I could not because I'm not a technical person, but this shows his greatness. Dr. Nair has worked both in academic and industry and has a combined experience of more than 30 years in various industries such as oil and gas, Shell in Amsterdam, education, Netherlands, Denmark, US, Japan, China, and South Korea, consulting, PwC, Japan, and the US, and advanced R&D, Netherlands, Japan, and US. His current interests are in the areas of leadership for sustainability and entrepreneurship, with a focus on using evolutionary psychology principles to improve human condition and organizational effectiveness. He has taught, consulted, researched, and conducted executive and leadership development workshops in the US, India, Japan, and Netherlands, China, UK, and South Korea in companies such as Ericsson, Texas, Capital Bank, Citibank, Hitachi, NEC, Kao, Alcatel, Lucent, Compucom, Genesee Labs, Pfizer, etc. Before joining L.M. Thapar School of Management, he was a clinical professor of organization, strategy, and international management, and the academic director of the Leadership Center at the University of Texas at Dallas. He was also an Elliott professor at the Department of Materials Science and Engineering at the same university. He has a PhD from University of Twente in the Netherlands and a Doctor of Engineering from the University of Tokyo, Japan, an MBA from Heriot-Watt University in the UK, and an MTech in Meteorological Engineering from IIT Kharagpur, India. Welcome, Professor Nair, on our show. But before I will take Professor Nair views, again, I have to read the views of our viewers who have sent to us. And the first view is from Rotarian Dr. N.M. Nigam. She is the Chair, Organ and Blood Donation Committee, Rotary International District 3110, and she is also the retired principal of MMPVG College, Kanpur. And her view is, teaching is noble profession. It has been a noble profession and will always be. A student looks up to the teacher not only for knowledge, but for preparing you for good citizenship and practical life. The new name in teaching is a well-accepted word, mentorship. So these are the views of Rotarian Dr. N.M. Nigam, Chair, Organ and Blood Donation Committee, RID 3110. She is also the retired principal of MMPVG College, Kanpur. One more view is from Advocate K.C. Jain. He is a renowned social activist and Supreme Court lawyer, Agra. And he has given his views as, teaching has always been a noble profession, but most unfortunately, there is a perceptible decline in its standards like most of the other professions. The teachers no more treat it as an opportunity to serve the society and to impart value-based education. The commercialization of education has its own adverse effect on the teaching profession. These are the views of Advocate K.C. Jain, a renowned social activist and Supreme Court lawyer. We have one more view of a view opinion, and I am saying to you, the viewers today, we are getting the view not only from education sector, but from different sectors. And this view is from Mr. Raj Bahadur. He is a director, RV Hospitality, New Delhi. And his view is, teaching has always been a noble profession and must continue to be one as such. foundation of any generation is being laid by the teachers. And for some reason, if we find any deterioration in the cultural and social upbringing of any generation, it is more than evident that our society need to work positively to enhance teachers and teaching profession. These are the view of Mr. Raj Bahadur, Director, RV Hospitality, New Delhi. Welcome, Professor Nair, on our show. Professor Nair, you have heard earlier all our panelists, guests, as well as those who have viewers who have said their opinion. Now, we would like to know your views on, is teaching a noble profession anymore? Professor Dr. Padma Kumar Nair.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Goel, and thank you, my dear friend, Dr. Sudhir Sharan. You know, when my friend, Dr. Sudhir Sharan asked me to join this, I was very, very happy to join, not because I have a great opinion or I have a better insight. I thought it's a great opportunity to learn, and I am sincerely happy that already I have learned quite a bit. I started thinking wonderful ideas from the panelists. I'm so happy. And also, once again, thank you for this opportunity. You know, my children always tell me, Dad, you're a bit crazy. So I'm looking at this, and I started thinking. And then I went back and looked at the origin of this word noble, and sincerely, I didn't like it that much. So unfortunately, it is connected to nobility. And of course, what we today, what we understand by noble is positive. But still, I would probably frame the question without using the adjective noble. And as Dr. Abhijit Chaturaj was mentioning, I fully agree with him that every profession, if we could still keep using the word noble, every profession should be noble and responsible, humane and useful. So I would like to use the terms like responsible, humane, and useful. Every profession. But when it comes to medical profession, when it comes to teaching, when it comes to defense, protecting our nation, we attach a bit more responsibility, bit more importance, bit more respect. But every profession should show the ideas of humanity and responsibility and usefulness. Now, coming back to teaching and teachers, if you think about another fundamental question, what is education for? What should a good education do for our children, for our learners? I would argue that it should do at least three things effectively. Number one is it should help our learners to know themselves. I'm 60 years old, and I must admit that I'm still in the journey of exploring, asking this question, who am I? What makes me do what I do? What excites me? What kind of philosophies are directing me? What kind of other self-interests are controlling my behavior? It's all about understanding my being as a unique human being and also as part of this larger humanity. So that means we are all unique in some respects, and we are also similar because we all have been evolved for the last probably about several 100,000 million years, and a lot of similarities, the fundamental human condition, and we're all unique. So who am I? Next question is, how do we achieve intellectual humility and intellectual openness? Very, very important. If you go onto the social media, you read these comments and opinions, you rarely see that kind of an intellectual openness or intellectual humility. So teachers must help young learners to get into this journey of knowing themselves and developing intellectual openness and intellectual humility. And ultimately, we all, not only our students, we all get into another journey of seeking excellence. Excellence is not about achieving perfection. Excellence is not about achieving the highest quality. Excellence is about wanting to do it better than before. Back home here at L.M. Thapar School of Management, we all consider empathy is the mother of excellence. This is very important. Why empathy as the mother of excellence? Because we all know that we, without realizing whether we are teachers or we just work at home or we are in any other profession, we constantly learn, we create, and we help. We are always in this cycle of learning, creating, and helping. Learning, creating, and helping. Creating for whom? Most of what we do in our life is not for ourselves. Even if we do it selfishly, we're creating something for others. When we think about creating something for others, we must think about others. Thinking about others, understanding their emotions, the cognitive part of empathy, and emoting with them, feeling with them, the emotional or the affective part of empathy, cognition and affection. Once you understand what they feel, and if you can share their feeling, probably you will create things much more interesting, much more excellent than before. So that's the idea of empathy as the mother of excellence. Going back to those three functions of teaching and learning, knowing oneself, achieving intellectual humility and intellectual freedom, and getting into this journey of seeking excellence. So once again, I would consider teaching as a responsible, humane, empathetic, useful profession, and love and care and empathy is the starting point. And also sometimes people talk about we need more empathy. What we need is not more empathy. We need to erase the line separating between us and them. Empathy appeared biologically in our brain, in our emotion about 250 million years ago. 250 million years ago, evolution, if you look at the evolutionary past, reptiles evolved to animals giving live birth to babies. Reptiles could lay hundreds of eggs and walk away, and some would survive. When you give birth to 2-3 babies, you need to have that emotional connection. So empathy is biologically coded. We need to erase the line separating between us and them. So empathy or feeling for all, that is very, very important. Even inside the classroom, one of the most important functions of a teacher is to erase this line separating us and them. I speak this language, you speak another language. I'm a South Indian, you're a North Indian. I believe in this religion, or you believe in another religion. It is not, it is about erasing that line. It's about humanity. So that's again, to summarize, it's more than nobility or being noble. It's about empathetic, it's about responsible, it's about humane. Thank you.
It's more responsible, humane, and says Professor Nair, he says the noble is the thing which people says, but it is the responsibility, and we have to erase the line between us and them. Then only we can see that we will become a more responsible and empathetic person. Thank teacher. Thank you very much, Professor Nair, for giving your very, very effective views on this today's topic. I would like to invite my next panelist guest, and he is Dr. I. Wayan Raspendi Junedi. He is SE, MA, CMA. Dr. Raspendi is the lecturer Magister Management at Dhyana Pura University, Bali, Indonesia. In 1993, he did bachelor degree in management from Satya Wakana Christian University, Central Java. In 2000, he did master degree in management development at Ruhr University, Bochum, Germany. In 2009, he did doctorate in development management from Satya Wakana Christian University, Saltagia, Central Java. He was general manager of Larasari Resort and Spa, a 5-star resort in Central Java, Indonesia. From 2014 to 2019, he was Vice Rector, Operational and Marketing at Dhyanapura University, Bali, Indonesia. He is also the owner of Evolia Cafe in Bali, Indonesia since 2021. Welcome, Dr. Raspendi on our show. Dr. Raspendi, you have heard our earlier panelist guest. You have also heard the views of our viewers. But before I will call you, I have some views from my viewers, opinions from my viewers. And first is from Mr. Ashok Rajvanshi. He is a former senior electrical engineer, Central Railways, Nasik. And he says, managements of education institutions tell teachers that teaching is the noblest profession in the world and exhort them to behave in a noble manner. Only critical teachers know what managements imply when they utter the word noble. For them, noble teachers are those who are active in teaching but passive in thinking critically. To be noble is to have and demonstrate fine personal qualities or high moral principles. Teachers who consider themselves as belonging to a noble profession should have and show many fine qualities and high moral principles. These are the views of Mr. Ashok Rajvanshi, former senior electrical engineer, Central Railway, Nasik. One more view has come from Mr. Duli Chand Karel. He's the national president of Bharatiya Swarkar Sangh. It is in Hindi and it says, जब एक समान व्यवस्था के अनुसार ज्ञान या शिक्षा गुरुओं द्वारा दी जाती है, वह वंदनीय थी, क्योंकि उसमें स्वार्थ या लोभ समाहित नहीं था। और अब जब व्यापार की तर्ज पर शिक्षा बेची जा रही है, तो ना वह महान यानी नोबल कहलाने की श्रेणी में आएगा और ना ही किसी विशेष सम्मान की श्रेणी में। I will just try to translate in English for you. According to Mr. Duli Chand Karel, the national president of Bharatiya Swarkar Sangh, is that this was a noble profession when the teaching was done without any distinction, when they used to teach to everyone. Similarly, as Professor Nair has also mentioned, when there is no line between us and them. But he also said now, because there is a money involved, when when the commercialization of education has taken place, so there is no question of telling teaching as a noble profession, and it should not be kept in a separate category. So these were the views of Mr. Duli Chand Karel. He is the national president of Bharatiya Swarkar Sangh. So welcome, Mr. Dr. Rupendi on our show. Dr. Raspendi, you have heard our earlier viewers and our viewers also. Now we would like to know your views on, is teaching a noble profession anymore? Dr. Raspendi, please.
Yes, my voice is clear. Okay.
Yes.
Is teaching still what we call noble profession? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much, Mr. Goel and my brothers, Professor Sudhir Saran. I'm very happy to be able to have a discussion together today, this event. The answer is yes. Yeah, the teaching still a noble profession. I have been lectured since 1998 at Satya Wakana Christian University in Central Java. And since then, I've been very happy to be able to work and become a lecturer in economic development. Yeah. After I finished my study in postgraduate and master degree in Ruhr University, Bochum, Germany, I went back to Indonesia and become one of lecturer in Dhyanapura. So every lesson that I teach to the students should be seriously and prepare well. So all of material the student can understand, get enlightenment and knowledge. So if we have a research and services, we invite our students together so that also together with the student and also society services, and that all the end they are understand and they have an enlightenment to our students. So I have 5 point as a lecture or teaching, because in Bahasa Indonesia we call guru. So a guru actually have 5 things. First, educators. Second, teachers. 3 is mentors. 4 is manager, and the last one as evaluation of the program. So my friend, ladies and gentlemen, educators mean instilling moral value, good character, and discipline, hard work, and we show to the student. Second is teacher, teaching, providing knowledge, information to the student. So the student will understand very carefully our material. And the 3 is mentor. Teacher as a mentor mean like the student or the children who make mistake, teacher must direct and guide so as not to misdirect and go to wrong way. How to do it is that the teacher must know the characteristic background of the student's child. Otherwise, it is difficult to give a guidance to the students so that we actually provide solution and provide motivation. Number 4 is manager. Teacher is a manager as well. His stakes is to manage the classes, so student and function as a manager in order to for the class to be good, to be planned and structure the organization and to manage the good learning. So the last one, Sessing University or campus must not be indifferent to the campus program, succeed the entire campus program so that it runs as well as possible. Without loyalty, it will become vanishing or become useless. It will not go well. So, ladies and gentlemen, in our country, there is 3 point like teacher, researcher, and also service community. That is our aim job as a lecturer. But 5 point I have already showed my thought that is very important for us. Thank you very much, Mr. Goel, and may God bless you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Asmandi, for giving your views. And I know that you are joining from Indonesia. So viewers, you have seen today the viewers which has come from different parts of the world. And now at the last, but not the least, again, I am going to recall Professor Dr. Sudhir Saran, who has yielded his position for 2 distinguished our panelists. So Professor Dr. Sudhir Saran, you have heard now all the 5 panelists before you, and as well as you have also heard the opinions which were sent by our viewers. Now we would like to know from you your views on, is teaching a noble profession anymore? Professor Dr. Sudhir Saran, as Professor Saran, I would also add one thing, that talking or saying is very nice to hear, but we know what is happening. Even medical profession is called noble profession, but we have seen during COVID time, initially when the COVID comes, we have showered flower petals on them, and after that we have seen how they were beaten, the doctors were beaten in the hospital. We are also seeing the same thing even in the teaching institutions, many places. One time when we were the students, we cannot utter a single word at our home against our teacher. If we utter, we used to get the beating as in the college as well as at our home also. But today the situation is totally changed. I'm sure that you know the ground reality. Teachers cannot utter a single word, forget about beating, against any student, even if he or knows or she knows that the student is wrong. So keeping all these things in view, please give your views about is teaching a noble profession anymore? Professor Dr. Sudhir Saran, please.
Thank you once again, Mr. Goel. And I'm once again so happy that we are talking of something which is very complex. To start, let me share a story. There was a sculptor very busy with a piece of marble, and one reporter came to him to interview him. He began by saying, "How is it that every time you turn out such beautiful masterpieces?" The sculptor's answer was very surprising or astonishing. He says, "See, the beauty is there in this piece of marble. All I do is chisel away those portions which are irrelevant, and the beauty comes out from within." You have heard Arvind, you have heard Abhijit, you have heard Padma Kumar, you have heard Ruspendi, you have heard Pooja. All of them are saying, if we are like that sculptor who can visualize the sculpture inside and have the competence and discipline to chip away only the irrelevant portions, we have done our job. This is where all six of us converge, Mr. Goel. Now you know, in the field of human endeavor, there is large variation when you said coming to the field of practice. We all want to bring out the best sculpture hidden inside the piece of the marble. But we get, a certain number of students in a certain year, in a certain program. We should not be discriminating, as Padma Kumar emphasized. We have to erase lines. As Abhijit very well underlined, greed has to be kept out of the equation. As Arvind said, there are 5 levels of doing this task. Let me also say, Ruspendi agreed with it that in his country, which is on the other side of the globe, they have those levels of it. And therefore, the starting thought which I want to present here is, I did some amount of research, as every one of us did, to come and speak with you, talk on the platform, because I know very well the power of your medium. You are connected with a boy through News Gaon Se, who is in the interior corner of the largest village in Bihar and listening to this program live, or he, if he has some other engagement or she has some other engagement, will be listening by recording. All the precious thoughts have been put here. I want to start by saying this one. If I want to be that sculptor, which in every program, with every student, with every year, I want to bring the highest level of performance, then I have to keep 6 criteria in mind. Is teaching a noble profession anymore? Live the anymore. It becomes noble when we keep 6 things in mind, and each of us here on your panel will agree with it. I'm 100% sure. The first criterion is preparation is the key. All good self-respecting teachers, be it Abhijit, be it Padma Kumar, be it Dr. Ruspendi, be it Pooja, be it Arvind, be it myself, we do take sincere effort diligently, depending on the time available, given our other responsibilities, family responsibilities, other responsibilities, work-life balance. We take time to prepare. And if a teacher is taking the time to prepare, then he or she can say, I am treating the profession as noble. The second criterion is respect for students. Every student is unique. A student may not be well prepared. A student may not be very respectful in body language to us. A student may be distracted, but none of these externalities should subtract from the basic fact that if we treat teaching as a noble profession, we must have respect. 24 karat gold standard respect for students. This is what distinguishes us beyond the line of nobility or missing nobility. The third one is what at length Padma Kumar emphasized, empathy. Empathy is recalling your own experiences. You had so many years of education yourself. What did you hate your teacher not doing? Or what did you hate your school doing? What did you hated in the larger ecosystem? Remember those things. And to the extent it is within your power to erase it, minimize it, don't shy away from doing it. That's my translation of empathy, to enrich over and above what your viewers in that remote village have heard already from Abhijit, from Padma Kumar, from Ruspendi, from Pooja, from Arvind. I'm adding a little bit more flesh on the bones. The next one is equally important. The fourth criteria is be fair. What do you mean? If I take a test, that is an event. But before taking the test, I had to make the question paper. Evaluation tool I had to design. Did I sit there like a judge and say, my test will be just to each one of them, not favor any or disfavor any? Some of us did say ethical values matter the most. They matter the most in this domain. Be fair. The way we choose the curricular topics, the way we choose the pedagogical tools, the way we choose the specific course materials, the way we choose the class setting and manage the class, as Dr. Ruspendi said, and the way we deliver, be it face-to-face or online. These are the aspects where I am being fair. And what is most important here is no a student hates a tough teacher, a hard teacher. Abhijit is testimony. Arvind, who has left, is a testimony. I wasn't very hard to them. I regret it now. I shouldn't have been that hard. But they did not curse me because I've hired to each one of the 40 or 30 students in the class. So be fair also means God save you. Be conscious. Don't leave it to chance that you are not being in the position that inadvertently or God help you if deliberately you are differentiating for one reason or another. We are human beings. We have preferences, but to keep the preferences within the checks of propriety is this fourth principle, be fair. Then teaching is not just in the classroom. Fifth one, the impact I make, I may say based on my life experience, and you can check with other panelists in your question answer session what their take is. A limited amount of impact, let's say 70, 75, 80% of the impact of me as a teacher happens in the classroom. A major part, a strategic part happens the way I as a professor, as a teacher conduct myself outside the class and in other settings. Students may organize a cultural program. The way I participate in this one, when I break the barriers of formality, and so bring them closer so they can share a thing or two of personal matter. Those also are the most important things. And I'm so happy our panelists have already brought this out for your viewers who won't get a chance to listen to this when somebody asks them, is teaching a noble profession anymore? Finally, and this is that, if all the previous 5 things are done, the final criterion, did I have fun? Did I have fun? Let us ask. We get evaluation reports, as Arvind said, and every one of us knows we get feedback from colleagues these days, we get a feedback from students these days, we get feedback from the general public these days. There may be idiots there, let me be blunt, whose words don't mean anything. They're absolutely trash. Let us have the maturity to remember the prayer, serenity prayer. God grant me serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. When we practice this serenity prayer to the best of our cognitive makeup, emotive makeup, and phonetic makeup, with our 100% attitude at place, then we are going to have fun in the true sense. Somebody used the word, noble is not the most important thing here. Responsibility is. So having fun responsibly is the 6th and the final criterion. So, Mr. Goel and my respected panelists, if we have to answer the question, is teaching a noble profession anymore? These criteria are timeless. They go beyond the bounds of any more here. I hope your thousands and lakhs of viewers, Mr. Goel, on the different channels that you have, they have got a unparalleled opportunity listening to the 6 panelists here today to evaluate the issue in its fullest scope. All your viewers who've been so kind to send their views, time for it, they have got answers. We have a couple of minutes. You may ask the respected panelists their views. Thank you very much. It was an honor and pleasure to be here with you all. Thank you, Dr. Padmakumar. Thank you, Dr. Abhijit. Thank you, Arvind. Thank you, Pooja. Thank you, Dr. Spendi. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much, Professor Saran, for giving your views. Now, because time is short, so I will expect a very, very small answer from all of you at different questions. First question goes to Professor Nair. Professor Nair, you have such a vast experience in teaching. My straight question to you, when you joined as a teacher initially and now, the respect, the factor which you have seen in that time when you were there as a young educator, and you are seeing today the young educator who is joining the colleges, teaching in your institutions, is the same or the respect has gone down? Professor Nair, please.
I think it's difficult to say whether respect has gone down, but unfortunately, the students' expectations have become more transactional. I personally don't blame the students. You know, every day there are newspaper reports, speeches, YouTube videos, all the leaders and influencers always talking about education as just as a way to getting a good job. So this idea of corporate readiness, the idea of this graduate from this IIT, this IIM got 1.5 crore salary, you know, that return on investment mentality. You know, I am all for getting all the students excellent jobs, but the sole purpose of education should be to make our students intellectually ready, citizen ready. A good job would automatically follow. To training our students to work for some corporation is not the responsibility of the society. Make them morally ready, intellectually ready. That is what citizen
Okay.
ready. That's what we should do. I keep my answer
Okay.
short. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Nair. My question goes to Professor Chaturaj. Professor Chaturaj, as Professor Nair has just mentioned about the media. Now, my question to you is, do you blame media, so especially the social media, to create more misinformation or more information or awakening or giving wrong information to the students? And that's why the nobility of teaching is going down, because the students are going through on the Google, reading everything, and when they are coming to the class, they see the teacher is teaching, try to give them, but they have a different feeling what they used to have earlier. What you say about this, Professor Dr. Chatura?
I'm not very much present in social media, and what goes on the social media, possibly I don't know much. But the important thing is that the relationship between student and teacher, that's what in my initial opening remark I made, the kind of time a teacher should be investing on student, that is not there. Say, for example, I have my administrative responsibility also. So I am not able to give as much time as I should be giving to my student. And as Professor Saran rightly said, that if you really want to respect command, you have to respect your students. It's a two-way traffic. If I don't respect my students, students won't respect me. And what disturbs me, I came from corporate life to academics, but I thoroughly subscribe what Professor Nair said, the element of empathy, which is missing. Sympathy has always been a dirty work. I was in insurance and I would go to teach professionals from insurance world, and I would tell them, look, when you are settling the claim, the element of empathy is very, very important. Look, for example, somebody who has lost his only child who was a breadwinner in a road accident, and he doesn't know my office. He would travel from 200 kilometers away. Early morning bus he will catch, or train he will catch, and he comes in the office without knowing who to reproach, how to approach, and we turn our faces away. There your empathy matters. You
Yeah.
need to realize their problem. Try
Yes.
to put them into their
Okay.
shoes and start
Okay.
realizing what kind of problem. He has lost his
Okay.
child who was a
Yes.
breadwinner, doesn't know anybody. As a claim manager or as a claim settler, if an insurance company doesn't understand that, possibly they are doing great disservice.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Right, as you said rightly, during COVID, bouquets and brickbats both followed to a medical profession.
Yeah.
The reason is that, as I always believed, I work in healthcare, that
Professor Chaturaj, paucity of time. I'm really sorry.
Sure.
Okay. Thank you very much. Dr. Raspandi, are you there?
Yes,
Dr. Raspandi?
please.
Okay. Please switch on your video. We can't see you. Please switch on your video.
Sorry.
Your video is off. Very quick. My question is very simple and asking you, is this teaching earlier? There was no money. We have like Guru Shishya Parampara in India, where the teachers were not paid any money. They were just giving whatsoever they want to give as per their wishes. But today the money plays a very important role, as our earlier panelist said. Do you think the money is the reason? That's why the nobility is going down.
First of all, my vision is, even though I don't have got money from my job as a lecturer, I do my vision to give enlightenment to the students, to all of my students. Even though as a lecturer in by Indonesia especially, we have a very limited of salary money every month, but then every person is different. They have their own vision. So my point is, yeah, even though a lecturer or teacher is they get a very limited of salary, but then the lecturer, especially me, I still do my best to the student, give seriously preparing the material and character, how to become give a value to the students. Thank you, brother.
Thank you very much. Now, my last question, quick question, Professor Dr. Sudhir Saran. We have seen today, nowadays, that teachers who join, they are waiting to go to another university, turnover of their job very, very fast. So earlier, when we used to study, we have seen our teachers, the same teacher from the D-Day 1 till the last, he is in the same college. But nowadays, the teachers are also becoming like Professor Naya says about the corporatization. Somebody will say, why not you join our institution, take this much package, but not. So where is the nobility left? So we cannot term as a noble profession. Noble profession is when you are thinking only for the students, benefit for the students, in turn benefit for the society and the nation. What do you say about this, Professor Saran?
Very simple. These 6 criteria are there. Wherever you are respecting them, it does not matter whether you're doing for a low salary or high salary in one place or another. Keep that one constant. Teach like a sincere teacher and hope that you get the maximum rewards financially and in terms of respect. Thank you very much.
Hey, thank you very much. So viewers, today you have seen all the top educators, they have given their time, money, sweat, everything to upbringing the students. And what we are giving as a civil society, are we respecting them? Are we giving the same respect which we used to give at our time? No, I don't think so. We treat them as any other profession. We forget one thing. As initially I said, no profession can exist without the teachers. If teachers would have not taught us, I would have not organized this media conference. If the teachers would have not taught us, our Prime Minister cannot be at the helm of the affairs. So the teacher's place is always the supreme. But why we are not going? We are seeing when the child is a small child, we try to give the respect. But when the money comes, we say, we are paying you this much. Why we should give you respect? I think we have to change the mindset of the society. We have to give them respect. If we will give the respect, then definitely our child or the children will become a responsible citizen. Then only we can say proudly that India is going to be the Wish Guru when our teachers will be respected as we used to respect in earlier times. Thank you very much. Today's program has been live telecasted by Before News, Karu News, Before Stream, Malnadu TV India, News Gaon se, Samvad Sarocar News, Bharat Post News, Gyan, as well as was shown on Facebook and YouTube. And thank you very much, Professor Naya. Thank you very much, Dr. Chaturaj. Thank you very much, Professor Sharan. Thank you very much, Dr. Raspandi. And thank you very much, Dr. Erwin, as well as Dr. Pathak, for giving your very, very valuable views. And I must also give thanks to our viewers who has sent the opinions in too many, and many of opinion I could not take. But my again one request, please send your opinion not more than 50 words, because sometimes it is very, very difficult, and try to use very, very simple words. I am not that qualified to read your difficult words. Sometimes I may commit mistakes. I am not an educator or teacher, so that the people will forget.